All right, welcome to the training. So I wanted to talk to you guys about third-party sales calls for a few minutes, and this is a topic that we've addressed in the past, but I'm going to spend just a couple more minutes on it today. When you register a domain name and set up a website, you immediately become a prime target for marketing companies and web design companies out there, and there's just too many to name. So I'm not going to list the ones that we're aware of, but bottom line is you get contacted by a lot of those kind of companies, mostly unaffiliated with us, that try to sell you additional services. And the question always for my clients, and even for us sometimes, is how are they getting your contact information? How are they able to reach out to you and find your new website, and try to sell you something? And I want to talk about just some ways that we can avoid that, and one in particular that I think is really, really going to help you. So right off the bat, number one, set up a password with your coach. Not just a password, but what we call a verbal password. That's number one. So this has been very helpful to our clients lately, meaning with your coach on the phone, you can give them some kind of a password. It could be a pet name, it could be a number, it could be a birthday. It doesn't matter what the password is, just needs to be something that you can remember, and then they're going to record that on our company records here in our office. And what that essentially will do is it'll make it to where if you ever get a call from someone you're not affiliate or you're not familiar with, you can simply ask them if they have your verbal password. And if they don't, or if they sort of try to work their way around it, or say that they haven't gotten it yet, or whatever the case may be, that right there is an indication that they're most likely not affiliated with us. So if you haven't done that yet with your coach, let me just encourage you to do that. Have a verbal password, have one that they put on your account, and start using it. And always check to make sure, no matter what, that someone has it before you spend any time on the phone with them or via email, okay? In case somebody tries to reach out to you. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, and I believe we've covered this before, when you register your domain name, make it private, okay? Now I don't mean like sit in a room and do it with nobody around, although that's probably wise too. There's actually a section when you're registering a domain name with most registration companies that allow you to choose to make it quote unquote private. And all that means is your name, your address, your phone number, which is on public records out there associated with this new registry of a domain name. Remember, when I'm talking about domains, I'm talking about your .com specifically. So when you register that .com, whatever it is, make sure you do it privately. It will hide all of your contact information, enabling someone who sees your newly registered domain name, which is easy for people to find, by the way, it'll make it to where they can't see any of the contact information related to it, okay? I won't go into any more detail on that. If you need help with it, talk to your coach, but that's something you absolutely need to do. Number 3, contact info on your website. Do not use an old email account. Okay, so in your websites, you guys most likely will have like a contact page or an About Us page, something to that effect, and you will have your contact information on that page. What we're asking you to do is not to use an old email account, so your old Yahoo or Hotmail account or your old Gmail, whatever account you've had and have been using over the years, don't use that. Use a brand new one that you register. Likely, we'd recommend you use something like, your domain name at gmail.com, newly registered, and use that for all contact related to your website. The problem, and here's why I say that. The problem is if they can get access to your old email account, it is likely that they can do some reverse searching and some lookups with some advanced tools out there and find addresses, names, and phone numbers associated with your old email. It's likely, they actually may not be able to do that nearly as well with a newly created email. So do that. Because if I've got my old Hotmail account, which I've had now for, I don't even know, 15 years. So I've got this old email that I've had for a long time. If somebody knew what that was, it's likely they could find my personal phone number and my address and stuff associated with that account. How they go about doing that, we won't go into all the details, but the crux of the matter is you don't want that email exposed. You'd rather use a brand new one. So a Gmail account, you could use a brand new Yahoo. I think Gmail is probably best. Plus, you're going to be using a lot of Google products and services, and Gmail is operated by Google, so it would make sense to get one of those set up. Okay? Use that as the customer-facing contact information there on the site. Okay? Number 4, don't put a phone number on the website. Okay? And I will put a caveat there. Don't use your phone number, first of all, like your personal line, because that will just get blown up with sales calls. If you are going to use a phone number, which isn't a bad idea to have on a site, probably not necessary when you're first starting, but at some point you may want one there. And if you do, don't make it your old one. Make it a new one. You can sign up using that address right there, google.com/voice, and you can create sort of your own phone number from that and put that on the site. Again, I don't know if I would do that early in the game, because even that number will get blown up. But it's not like that's a number you have to answer all the time. You could just have a message attached to it. It's free. I'll put that here. And then you never have to pick it up. But no, whatever phone number you put on the site will likely get called a lot by marketers early in the game, and at other times, in the history and life of your website, you'll probably get the occasional sales call. Because you got to remember, these companies, it's very easy for them to see newly registered domain names. There's no way to really hide that. So if I register a brand new name tomorrow, it's likely they can see that. And then they're going to do everything they can to find me as the owner of that domain, because they know maybe I need web design services, maybe I need marketing help, maybe I need social media help, maybe I need supplier help, whatever it is. They're going to try to offer you something to help you with the business. And I'm not saying all these companies are bad. I'm just saying you don't want to get hit up with sales calls all the time. So these types of things can prevent it. Last thing that I think is going to be incredibly helpful is change your primary PayPal email. Okay, so what I mean by that is you have a PayPal account. Most of you are connecting your PayPal account into your website, right? And we've taught you guys to do that. Problem is a lot of your guys' email, your PayPal accounts are associated with an older email account that you use. I would argue you'd want to add this account right here, this new Gmail that you create, have that created, and then make that the primary email on your account. Now, it doesn't mean you need to register a brand new PayPal account. You can use an existing older PayPal account. You just have to change which email is the quote-unquote primary email. I'll put that in quotes right here so you know to look for it. So all you do is this, and I won't show you on my screen because I'm not going to show you the details of my PayPal account. I don't know if that's wise to get you into my banking account or my PayPal account, but what I will do is just walk you through the steps right here. You're going to log into your account. Let's do this like this. Log into PayPal. You want to find your profile. So I'm going to say profile page link, usually at the top right once you're logged into PayPal. And you want to click on, the link usually says something like profile and settings, something like that, okay? So that's where you want to get, profile and settings. And then within that, there should be an email section. And you can either, there's like a plus symbol or a spot to add email. And go ahead and do that. Add a new email. So add a new one and make it the primary account. Okay, here's why this matters. And that should, I mean, it should be as simple as that. If it's not that simple, usually we can't get into your PayPal account because it's a financial institution. You're not going to want to give login information, to anybody for that. But you'd be welcome to call PayPal directly and change up those settings if you need help. So here's their number, 888-221-1161. They'd be more than happy to help you change those settings. Here's the reason why. If you'll do that, when somebody goes and buys an item through your website, and this is what one of those marketers might do, they'd go in and buy an item on your website, and but they wouldn't pay for it. But in the process of buying the item, they can actually see the PayPal account belonging to you as the owner of the website. Now you need to protect that, right? Because you don't want them to see your old email account. You want to protect that with your newer one so that they can't get your phone number. So if you do that, if you change those settings, then you're good. Then if they order something on your website, they won't see your old PayPal. They'll see your newly created email account, and then they'll have no way to get your phone number. Okay? Remember, they need your old email account to get access to your phone number. I guess I should call this number 6. Beware. Beware of fake orders on your site. Okay, when you're first running your website, a lot of times you'll get some orders really early. Sometimes without even having really launched the site, you'll see some orders pop up, and it's done with the incentive of somebody out there with one of these marketing companies. They buy an item, they don't totally pay for it, they place this fake order, and then they put in their contact information. So hoping that you see that order and reach out to them. It's a way for them to get you to contact them, and then they'll either try to get you on the phone or they'll try to market you through an email. So be aware of those fake orders. And it's a fake order just by looking at it a lot of times. A lot of times the information looks bogus, or the phone number doesn't look right, or it's somebody who bought the item early after the launch of your site and then never paid. Also, if it's a Washington address, that always looks a little fishy. So those types of things. I'll put that here. But they don't have to use a Washington address. They could use any address. Just be aware of that. And then last but not least, I'm going to say email marketing. These companies, they can find your email on your site. Even if we put in our new Gmail account, they could still find that, and they'll start emailing you. And they'll say things like, your site needs a facelift. It doesn't look very nice. We'll upgrade the design for you. Or they'll say things like, to ensure your site is Google compliant, or, to ensure your site is without errors. They may even say that your site has a bunch of errors and you need to contact them immediately, to set up a meeting about it. Anyway, these are all scare tactics, and they're used because they're effective. If they feel like they can scare you into contacting them and they can get you on the phone, they feel like they can sell you something that you don't need. So as a company, we're concerned about all of this, right? Because first of all, we don't want you buying stuff that you don't need. And there's plenty of people that are willing to sell you things that you don't need. Right? If I have enough money and I walk onto a car lot, the salesperson is going to sell me the most expensive car they possibly can without regard to my financial situation, right? They just want to make sure that I can pay for their car. If I can pay for their car, they don't care, if I'm living in a cardboard hut somewhere and I can't afford it. They just want to sell me an expensive car. And I feel a lot like that about these companies that are out there. You know, they're interested in selling you something that you don't necessarily need, and they'll make it sound really great when in fact you could probably save your money, and you know, here we can just help you. And that's not to say, you know, there's not upgrades and extras, you know, that you can't get from us. There are, but you know, at least we know who's in our office, who's doing the work, and we feel good about it. Whereas some of these outside companies, I mean, we just can't vouch for what they do or the quality of what they do. Whereas we know we do good work here. So hopefully this is helpful here. I think the big one for us is this PayPal one. So if you guys can be aware of that, if you've got a site currently, you may want to go through this process right here just to ensure that your information is safe and you're not getting hit up by these companies. Okay? Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, please let your coach know. Thanks for being here today, and let's try to stay safe.